Imagine a perfect world where you can build a restaurant, open the doors, and make loads of money. Unfortunately, those days are over. It takes great leadership, hard work, and long hours to operate a successful restaurant. Together, we can make it happen. This is Restauranttopia. All right, welcome back to Restauranttopia. We've got another great, insightful topic for you today, captained by Mr. Brian Thank You Sites. This is going to be how to do a digital asset audit. So you might be thinking, what in the heck is a digital asset audit?
And you're thinking, I do not want to do this. This sounds boring. Nerd fest, as my wife would say.
Well, it never ends in audit. You're like,
yeah,
audit. It just doesn't sound fun. It doesn't sound good, right?
You know what? But I put it in there because this is what you need to do. This is something that you do in all other aspects of your operation. You do inventory, you track liquor, you track your point of sale system. But now in this, it's 2021 and you have so many digital assets that this person has this thing and this person has this thing and this file's over here. But you're not taking the time to make sure that you have access to all of this. If someone would leave, that you're not going to lose anything. These things are super valuable, whether it's your website, your email, your social media. All these things you need to have a strong control of, because I'm telling you, they're valuable and they can mean the success or failure of your business.
Yeah, and I think, again, we go back to the previous episode about the 7 steps to a social media post. The restaurant industry in general, especially the local independent restaurant industry, is just not strong in digital in general. Fantastic website, great social media presence. And I don't want to throw that out too general. There's definitely people that are doing a great job.
No, for sure.
But there are a lot that aren't. Seems like work, maybe because you haven't got started on some of the stuff to audit. This is very important in this day and age. Like, your digital assets are very important. So I'm excited to hear what you got to say here.
And if you're going to spend the money with a vendor who is going to come in and redo your website, or a vendor who is going to run marketing for you, these are the things that they're going to need access to. And so you want to have a good handle on these things, and so that they don't, when you no longer need them, that they don't leave with these assets. Let's talk about passwords. It's the vein of most people's cyber existence. It's so annoying. I am shocked sometimes that hackers are able to get into any computer system, because I have the password and username and I can't get in half the time.
Well, and I'm the worst at this because I'm one of the people, like, if somebody finds out what my password is, they've got everything. Because I have one password for everything.
So I found a tool, and there's a lot.
I saw one of your passwords. I'm like, wow, he has capital and lowercase.
So I found a tool that solves this problem for you. There's a lot of programs called password managers. I use LastPass. It's basically a system that allows you to store all your passwords in one place. But 2, they also check that you're not using Cleveland Browns 1, Cleveland Browns 2, right, Cleveland Browns 3, for your passwords. So it has a password generator that will do a 27 crazy difficult password, 27 character, to allow you to be prevented from being hacked.
And then it saves those in there, so you're not...
Correct. It saves and autofills on your phone and on your computer.
Nice.
But you can also share those with other people in your organization, so they're actually not seeing the password. It's autofilling, so when you discontinue them, there's not a Post-it note or a notebook that they have that has the keys to the castle. Hey, here's my banking password, here's this password, here's my QuickBooks password, here's the point of sale password. And it's like, I really don't want those out in the public.
Right.
Think about a disgruntled employee with these digital assets. Is there something that you would definitely not like posted online on your business's account? These things are very important. It's definitely a large surface area for risk for you and for your operation.
Yeah. So think about the social media account, as general as that is.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got your hostess that's, you didn't want to do the social media, so you got her doing it. Well, and if she created the account and she's the only administrator, guess what? She's going to be a tough person to let go. Because all of a sudden she's got the, like you said, keys to the castle.
So I'll give you a story. I had a company and we had all the social media platforms, but Google Plus came on the scene. It's no longer with us. It's
Google My Business, basically, right?
Essentially, yeah, but it's in the social media graveyard right now. This person came to our company, lower level employee. We tasked her with setting up this account. She did. She used her Google email. She was the administrator on the account. And when she left and we couldn't get in contact with her, she had access to the account. So hours of operation, photos, every aspect of this account was controlled and locked in. And then if you don't think you have the time to do this digital asset audit, Think about the time it's going to take for you to contact Google and get them to give you back your own website, your own social media page, your own profile. It will take hours and hours. There's not a customer service department at Facebook. There's not a customer service department at Google. I mean, they have scaled these operations up. How many users does Facebook have? 2 billion?
Something like that, yeah.
2 billion. Do you think they care about, Joe's Deli in Parma, Ohio? Probably not. Think about those digital assets that you need to track, and have control of.
Yeah, this is one of those things I feel like, when you think about the stuff that can happen and the pain in that, this becomes very simple to do.
It does. It does. And in the show notes, so this is an exhaustive list of all the things that you really want to make sure that you have, and start thinking about where is it at, who's the administrator, who's the user, and who has access to the password.
So define right now, define administrator versus user, and how just to give everybody some clarity.
Okay. So on some of these social media accounts, you can have a user, and then the main person is the administrator. So the administrator can assign other users, but you want to own and control the administrative password. The user may be assigned, and that person can post on your account, but then you can deny access. The administrator may be able to do ad campaigns, and a user may not be able to. So those are the types of things that you need to be aware of. So if you give the server access to this account or assign them as a user, make sure that they don't have the administrative access.
Right. And so basically the difference is the administrative access, that's the final that's the final say of the account. They're the ones in control. They can just grant limited or more accessible access to the account as a user.
They essentially have ownership.
Right.
They have ownership and control.
Okay. Got it.
I want to talk about your point of sale system, your back of house software, menu software, and your accounting software. Make sure that information is locked down really strong. At the end of the day, that is the keys to your business, and those data points are so important.
No, this all comes down to security, accessibility, and just being smart with your data and digital. There's so many places that you are represented digitally outside of your restaurant, but then also within POS software, the menu, all that stuff.
And you really got to worry about this stuff. Like if someone would get into your bank account, or if someone would get into your bank account or get into your accounting software, the chances for employee theft are very, very high. I just had a matter the other day where an employee started writing checks to themselves.
Yeah, I know. And just think of it's new now, and I don't even know if I completely understand what it is, but you hear all these stories about ransomware and all these different things where they just lock you up and then you owe them Bitcoin to get out of it or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So there's some sophisticated people out there doing this for a living. Well, doing this for money, but I don't know if it's a living or not. But
No, and we'll go into here. What does your backup look like? What if you would get hit by ransomware? What does it look like to get you back up and running? So having those backups is very important. We'll hit a few more of these other issues right now, but another thing I want to talk about is your domain and your email hosting. You have your domain, so it's www. whatever your restaurant is. That is registered a domain registrar, and that can be the same as your hosting provider. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Your hosting provider is the computer or system that is actually hosting that website. So when people type in that domain, that's the system they go to. Those things you want to make sure are locked down, are really user-friendly, and really done well as far as web design. But you don't want those to be corrupted or to be hacked. That's a great surface area for you to get hacked. And now, with restaurateurs having such a digital presence in the market, your storefront is not as important as your digital presence.
Oh, no question. And this is a great list. So as you're looking through the show notes, this has a really detailed list of all the different points that you want to be aware of, because some of these things, even as I'm going through it, I'm like, oh, I didn't even think about that. You know? So you got to look at this list.
This is on the list. Food delivery services. You're in the middle of a pandemic. You weren't doing third-party delivery, and then you need to spin up third-party delivery really quick. Who has the username and password to that account?
I didn't even think about that, because you got to be able to log in and load the menus and change them and do all that stuff.
And, and take the orders?
Yeah.
But think about a disgruntled employee. A disgruntled employee now can log on to one of your accounts and shut you down. Either lock you out, which is horrible, or just say, hey, our operations are from 4 a.m. to 3 a.m. Or all the things that they can do to harm you are because you are providing access. And this goes into when you terminate an employee, what access do they have? You really need to understand this. And that's why I think this digital asset list is so important of who has access to these things.
Yeah.
And you need to know that. Dave, to follow up on your point on ransomware and hacking, is where are your digital assets when it comes to your files? So think about, what files do you have as a restaurateur? You have your photos, videos that you're using for social media or promotion or marketing. And then you also have tax records, financial records, employee files. Where's your onboarding? Where's your recipes at? Where are these things stored? Are they just on one computer that's not backed up?
Training manuals.
Your training manuals, all your digital life. Are they just on the laptop that is in the back of your car 90% of the time that could easily be stolen?
Yeah, or that's sitting in the manager's office that the door's wide open during the day and just everybody has access to it, and the keyboard's got 2 inches of dust on it.
or just everyone has access to it,
right,
and everyone knows the password. Think about what an employee can do with all of your information with a $3 thumb drive from Amazon. They can plug it in the back of that computer and download your entire system. Is that something you want your competitors to have? Is that something you...
Sounds scary.
No, it is. And I'm not talking 007 espionage here. I'm talking 5 minutes when they know that you're in the front of the house or they're the manager that night and they're taking all of your recipes. You don't want that. Mm-mm. The risk is high here. So what files do you have? Where are they stored? Who has access to those files? And then to Dave's point on the ransomware, how are they backed up?
Right.
There's a great strategy, 3-2-1 backup strategy. Very simple to implement, but this provides that your system is absolutely backed up. If you only have one copy of something, it's not backed up. So let's talk about Dave's example where you got the manager's office. Hopefully it's restricted access to that system and that computer. But you have your files on that PC. You also want to have that backed up to an external drive and to the cloud. So use some sort of cloud system, whether it's OneDrive, Dropbox, any of the cloud providers out there. So it's backed up to the cloud. And then I also suggest, because you never know if that system can be hacked, you should also have an air-gapped backup copy. Take a copy of the hard drive that is backing up to and take it home. So that's what I do with my systems. So I have my server, it's backed up to a hard drive, it's backed up to the cloud, and then I also have a copy of that. So God forbid we'd lose any episodes of Restaurantopia. If there was a fire and that server got melted down and somehow the online version got corrupted, maybe it got hit with ransomware, I would also have a second physical copy of that entire drive at an offsite location.
Yeah, that sounds pretty secure. Again,
these things do happen. The computer just dies on you. Water damage, theft. Someone could steal a laptop and they're not stealing $350 or $400 laptop. They're stealing thousands and thousands.
The whole business, potentially.
Yeah, potentially thousands of dollars of your intellectual property. Mm-hmm. And again, I'm making that sound grandiose, but what would it cost to recreate all your menus and all your recipes in digital form and write them out, and all of your photos that you've used and all of your marketing material?
Well, I think everybody's experienced either like maybe a computer crashing, or even as simple as like you typed, you
typed
doing
a letter.
Homework, you typed a letter and you didn't save it.
Yeah.
Like, you know that feeling? You're just like, oh man, I gotta imagine everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
No, and super paranoid about this because of being an attorney. I can't lose an employee file. I can't lose a
client file.
A client file. Like those things are like that. That's not in the thing of possibilities of happening.
Yeah, so I suggest like if you're thinking about this and you're going like, wow, I'm really motivated to do this now, but don't know where to start. Like, reach out to us. Hit us up on restaurantopia.com. Yeah. Find Brian on LinkedIn. We'd love to help you. Yeah. Understand this list and figure out the best way to execute it.
And if you're not the person at your restaurant that is doing this, you need to be. This is like having a key to the front door. This is something that you need to do. And go to restaurantopia.com, print off these show notes. I'll make it so it's in a PDF, so it's easy that you can just hand it to somebody and go, all right, fill this out. I want to know who has access to all this stuff. Use a password manager. Make sure that the things are being updated and that you have control of them. So when an employee leaves, they're not taking your digital assets with you.
Yeah. All right, Brian. Now, this is great. I tell you what, this was a great episode. It's a quick hitter, but really the show notes are going to be the most important thing. So download the show notes from the website. Go through this list. Be thorough. This is going to take some time. It's going to take a commitment, but it's going to be well worth it, because any of this stuff that actually would get hacked or taken from you is going to be detrimental to your business and detrimental to a lot of people's potentially personal lives.
Yeah.
This is a great episode. I appreciate you putting it together, and definitely check out restauranttopia.com and also our sponsor, hillcrestfoods.com. Check them out. If you're a local restaurant owner out there grinding it out, making things happen on a daily basis, Hillcrest Foods is one of the best partners you can have for your restaurant, because they genuinely care and partner with you 100% in your operation. And plus, they do a good job distributing food.
No, they do a great job. And I want to talk to our listeners out there. If you know of another local independent restaurateur who could benefit from this show, I ask you that if you do me a favor and Dave and Anthony a favor and forward that on to that restaurateur. We're all part of a community who want to help out local independent restaurateurs. And the better we all get, the better that we can do to make more money for our friends and family and provide amazing hospitality. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks so much.
This is a high quality pod. Thank you, everybody.
Take care. Adios.
Thank you for listening to Restaurantopia. The gratitude that we have for each and every one of you spending your precious time to listen to this podcast is immeasurable. Please make sure to tell a friend about this podcast. And also, if you have any feedback for us, visit us on restauranttopia.com and drop us a line. You can also subscribe on your favorite place to listen to podcasts. Thank you, and have a great day.